What's up? Welcome to the Nerdgasm Channel Podcast. This is Willie, a.k.a. Unofficial Ninja.
Zach, Romeo 313.
Jules, Fade Alexander.
And I'm Jonathan, a.k.a. Sir Yum Yums.
Welcome, Jonathan.
Happy to be here.
This is Jonathan's first podcast with us.
And that was the first time we heard his handle.
Sir Yum Yums.
Yeah, it sticks out, but it's something that I've kept around since 8th grade, and nobody else has it. Wherever I go, I pipe it in, and nobody else has taken it. So,
is there a story behind that worth telling?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It was just something that I came up with when, again, in 8th grade, and every single time that I put it in either Twitch or YouTube or anywhere else, nobody else has it. So it's already claimed, guys. You can't steal it.
There you go. Sir Yum Yums it is.
Today's topics are going to be Final Fantasy 15, all the big news like the anime, the demo, the CG movie that's going to be coming out, PlayStation VR and the PlayStation 4.5, some DC news with the Suicide Squad being reshot, and Batman vs. Superman discussion with no spoilers because I haven't seen it yet.
No spoilers.
Cross-platform multiplayer, and possibly some other stuff we might sneak in there if it comes to our mind. So let's go ahead and get started. First is Final Fantasy 15 info.
Okay. So what's up with Final Fantasy?
Did anyone watch the Uncovered Final Fantasy 15 live event that they streamed last night?
I got the last 15 minutes of it, and even then it was being streamed through a few other things, so they were commenting on it.
Okay, I caught probably the last 30 minutes. I came in right at the end where they were talking about the Final Fantasy 15 CG movie that they have.
Spirited Within 2?
Was that even good, the first one, though?
I liked it, but...
Wait. Before we get into that, because this is still technically... Did you say you liked Spirits Within?
I actually did, but can I preface that with... I had never played a Final Fantasy game before that movie. I just was aware of the technology that they used to make their CGI. I didn't understand that it was supposed to be basically it was based off of the Final Fantasy lore. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't play a Final Fantasy game until after Kingdom Hearts, when I realized I didn't know any of the characters in the game. So I thought it was good because CGI was amazing.
Absolutely.
The CGI was amazing, so I was like, this is great. I didn't know who these people were supposed to be.
It was just boring as hell.
Yeah. I don't think I even watched the whole thing.
We went to the theater, and I
saw it in theaters too.
It
was in theaters?
Mm-hmm. I mean, the drool would be coming down.
Yeah. Didn't Sony... Yeah, well, of course Sony produced it, but I thought it was great, personally. Back then. But again, I didn't know. I was just taking it for the sheer...
Did you ever see the Final Fantasy anime? The 2 movies?
Crystal whatever?
Yeah, it sucked. Mm-hmm. Again, another snooze fest.
Yeah, that was not good at all.
I don't like to fall asleep during stuff, but if you can't keep my stupid attention... I'm a groundling, essentially, and you can't keep my attention... That was a Shakespeare reference, by the way. If you can't keep my attention, there's something wrong. Go ahead.
You have, the attention span of a squirrel, though, so...
What were we talking about?
So, I'm
I have what they call AD... What the hell is that?
AD...
look over there.
Yeah.
So... No, I really don't.
But, Jess pointed out a good point. We're not starting with Nintendo news today.
Oh, we've got it. I just didn't want to go first.
Fuck.
Yeah, I wasn't going to let us have a podcast without Nintendo news.
I thought
I've got 2 things here. Nope,
I thought you specifically told me ahead of time that you didn't have any Nintendo news.
Exactly, because I always going to come in with a surprise.
Fuck me.
I was going to come in with a surprise. So.
All right, you're new here.
Yeah.
Yum Yum.
Yeah.
Sir Yum Yum.
Yeah, Sir Yum Yum.
Wait.
My father.
And plural too. Yum Yums, not Yum Yum.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. My father was Yum Yum.
He's been knighted. Okay. Yum Yums has been knighted.
So,
that's royalty, bitch. Kiss the rings.
I completely lost my with the Yum Yums.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna ask me
you're
something
new.
important.
No,
Yeah.
you're new to the and you probably haven't heard.
It could be worse.
Podcasts,
it could be certain nipple twisty.
But for some reason, every single podcast we had Nintendo in the first one, and I thought, cool, Nintendo news, that'll be last of it. Then before we knew it, the first 4 podcasts that we had were half Nintendo news and stuff, and it became a running joke. of like we're basically Nintendo's slaves, and we are all like drinking the Kool-Aid of Nintendo. So every podcast, I try not to, but we have to talk about Nintendo because Julius is on Nintendo.
Well, why not? Why not? And by the way, speaking of Julius, let's say hi to Talia. Hey, Talia.
Hey, Talia.
Thanks for watching.
So
Sup.
I'm kind of upset that he snuck in some Nintendo news.
I just gonna.
Why not?
But
well, if there's
We
news,
just didn't
if there is
true.
news,
we should
but-
say it. We should talk about it.
Yeah, but it's usually just anyway. So the
Man,
CG movie.
See, I'm kind of in the middle of you guys. I got the I don't want to fucking hear about Nintendo and the I will do anything Nintendo says. And I'm just like I just don't care.
Like I don't have anything against
like
Nintendo, but every time
I'm sorry, Xbox and
I-
PlayStation. You don't always have news.
I think we'll just call it Amiibo Corner. Is what we should just call it.
I'm sorry.
Amiibo
oh, we need a
Corner.
theme song.
Amiibo.
Amiibo Corner with Julius.
Yay!
The Final Fantasy
Yay!
CG movie is
Yes, Final Fantasy.
Knight's Glaive or no, I have it written down.
I mean, honestly, when it
So
comes
they
down
got
to
one
it,
coming out.
if you
Yeah,
can make a
it's
movie
King's
that's better
Glaive.
than Spirits Within, or better than Advent Children, or even take it in between the two, I'd still be pretty happy.
Well, it has a good voice cast. So we were talking about beforehand. Cersei's the girl, the woman,
Nina Headley,
the dude who played Ed Stark,
Sean Bean,
and then
Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul. So they're heading up the cast, doing the voices on that. They also announced a 5-episode prequel anime for it. So, and those are all going to be available free on YouTube. They already put up episode 1 last night after the event was over. So you can watch that. It was about 12 minutes long, so they're not very long, but the animation is done really well. It kind of reminded me of the animation style that they did for, I don't know if y'all saw it, but the Supernatural TV show. They did an anime for it.
Yeah, I saw. I know what you're talking
That's
about.
what it kind of reminded me of, the stylized. But the fights in it were cool, so it kind of got me pumped to watch the actual or play the game. And then another thing that came out of it was they have the mini game that's inside of Final Fantasy 15. It is called Justice Monsters 5, and so with that, it's going to be the mini game inside the actual game itself, but then it's also going to be a real life game you can download for your mobile device, and that's going to be free too. It's basically like a pinball game.
Oh, okay.
Then the demo, they released a new demo starting last night for Xbox and PlayStation, and with that, it's going to be a brand new standalone story. You're playing in like the dreamscape of the main character as a child. Nox, I think is how they pronounce his name. But they said that you can pretty much play this entire thing. It's not going to ruin the actual main story for you. It doesn't even have anything really to do with it. It seems like it's almost like a way for them to showcase the different features that are within, like gameplay mechanics. And then they said if you beat the whole thing...
That's going to be the new Final Fantasy, the features within.
If you beat the whole thing, like your little companion who's in the demo with you, he is going to be available for you in the actual real game.
Can we name him?
Yeah, like they'll let you put your own name on him, and he's gonna be like your
So
companion.
that's cool.
In the real
So
game.
because the first demo didn't really have any besides just really maxing it out and playing it and really enjoying it because it was amazing. There wasn't any boon to bring it over into the real game that they spoke of anyway.
Well, that demo, like how they were describing it last night, like the original one they released, was basically just cut directly out of
the game.
Yeah, so it was like actually like a section of the game that they were letting you play out. Whereas this is not part of the game at all. It's its own like adventure and stuff.
Okay.
And so I downloaded that last night.
You play the first demo though?
No. Wait. What was how did you get that originally?
Which one?
The first demo? You had to buy the Final Fantasy game
Typo.
thing, right? I never did it. So
That's the original way you could.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Then they eventually.
Oh yeah,
released
yeah.
it.
Oh, did they eventually?
Did they eventually release it free?
Yeah,
to download?
it was part initially. It's part of the pre-order bonuses for
Type
Final
X.
Fantasy.
Let's tell the truth.
Typo.
Let's tell the truth.
What?
It was not. It was originally listed as the pre-order bonus, right? But it was in the retail packaging.
Yeah, basically
for the
first
Typo.
edition.
First edition, day one edition.
Yeah,
I didn't buy it.
Which also meant you can rent it at Family Video and get to play it that way as well, or whatever your local retailer is.
I didn't do that either.
Because they leave the codes in there. And so some people, which, I mean, I'm happy for you, bruh. But also, it's like he will go into a store and buy something like the day of or like within the week of its release and get the same pre-order bonuses or whatever that I get for pre-ordering the game. So like there's like no incentive. Like it makes me so mad when you hit me up like 2 weeks later and like, yeah, so did yours come with this? And it's like, yeah, it was a pre-order bonus.
Hey, can I do the Zach Morris?
I got it too.
I got to do the Zach Morris timeout here. So the funny thing is, if Willie decided to take the Jules route and not pre-order it and then try to go out there and get it, he wouldn't get it. That's the way of the universe. It's the cosmic power of Julius, in the sense that literally, like, if there were payphones still, he'd make a phone call and the fucking 50 cents would fall back out. He'd be like, oh shit, nice, right? That's the Julius conundrum. And that luck might be running out, but fuck, that's frustrating if you try to follow his example, because you will never get the deal he does.
Speaking of that, no.
He got the collector's edition for free. Square Enix wrote him and said, hey,
we like
I've
your
heard
name
about you. Fade Alexander, that's going to make for a great name for the next Final Fantasy. Let me send you a free copy.
Final Fantasy, the Ballad of Fade Alexander.
Hey, that sounds like a character in Final Fantasy.
But that's the shit that, like, I mean, like, and people that have known Jules for a while, like, you know, if he ever complains, we always are like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Man, this controller isn't like the pro one. You got it for free, Julius. Still.
Okay, assholes. Anyway, Final Fantasy. So did you play the demo?
Yeah, not the new one they just released. I downloaded it last night, but I didn't get time.
Did yours take a long time to download? Mine didn't take.
I don't know. I did it on my I went on my phone and just told it to start doing it. Okay. So it might not even done it yet, like until I actually officially turned it on. But it told me it was downloading at least.
I'm curious. It looks neat. I didn't play it last night. I got super tired by the time it finished downloading, because it didn't become available till like almost 11:30. So, but I'm really curious. I loved the first demo. I thought it was amazing. Personally, I practically maxed out everything you can do. I found every side quest. I did every side quest. I played it a lot, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm only excited about this one. So, did you see the collector's edition?
Yeah.
There was entirely too much to even try to name what came with it, but $269.
Yeah, what it came with was all the pre-orders that you did. It was only available on Square Enix's online store, so no other retailer was having it. It came with the game, of course, the still booklet or still box case for it, the Kingsglaive movie on Blu-ray, the soundtrack, which included the soundtrack from the game, Kingsglaive, and the something else on there. Oh, the anime. It came with the anime on like Blu-ray and a figure of the main character, which was
a lot of tchotchkes.
And it was $269 though before taxes and shipping. Mm-hmm. And it was only 30,000 of those copies made. Yeah. And they didn't tell the price of it during the presentation. They were just like, it'll be available at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And so their website was actually ran pretty smoothly considering there was a flood of people going in. And so, when it loaded up, I was like, $269? Fuck that. And so I just...
Probably weren't the only one.
No, they sold out.
Did you play the demo?
No, I did not. In fact, I'm a PC gamer. Sorry. PC Elite. Just saying.
Jess is too. So.
But no, I personally am excited for anything Final Fantasy. I did grow up with those games whenever I was younger. But what I am worried about is that all of this production is going to movies and anime and things like that. So, I mean, usually when that happens, they're trying to distract from how good the game or how bad the game might be in the future. So it just makes me kind of worried. It makes me kind of edgy because all of that money could be put towards making the game great. But I mean, it's all hype. It's all marketing. I wish them the best in everything that they do.
That's a different perspective.
Point. Yeah.
Or it might be the only way they can make back some of their money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have a very, very, very deep fan base. So in this case, they might be trying to reach out, trying to expand that fan base rather than getting rather than having loyal fans return, they want to get new ones in.
Sure.
That's going to be hard, too, like, because fanboys of Final Fantasy, they're tough. If they change anything, they get pissed. If they don't change anything, they get pissed. Basically, Final Fantasy, they just have to put out the game and hope for the best, because regardless, you can't please everyone.
But Final Fantasy, like Square Enix and Squaresoft before it, always pushed the boundaries of graphics. In the sense that everything, even though it was stylized in a very, Japanese, not even anime, but, just pop culture.
Korean J-pop
way.
looking.
Yeah, like, that kind of sets the tone for it, regardless of if the gameplay is turn-based or if it's real-time. I mean, that makes... because a perfect example was the last Final Fantasy game that came out. Not the sequel.
Lightning Returns?
Not 13? The one before that, 13. Beautiful game for the PS3. It pushed the boundaries of the PS3. Some people liked the gameplay, some people didn't. But, I mean, Final Fantasy is always about, like, being pretty, essentially, if you want to, for lack of a better term. Like, they pump out visuals.
Yeah.
But now, whether or not you like the gameplay is neither here nor there. Because Square and Final Fantasy's burnt me a couple times where I just really wasn't interested in the gameplay. The story is okay, but...
I think the story is the reason that you play.
Amazing. Well, see...
Final Fantasy is what I always played because the stories were really good.
I would honestly say that the stories weren't that good. The story that was the great was X.
Final Fantasy 10?
Final Fantasy 10, yeah.
That was the first one I ever played.
Yeah.
And then 7, of course.
I think 3 was better.
See, I never played those, so I don't know.
I
guess I can't say.
I love 7 and 8.
7 and X were the two that
8 was just... 8 was such a departure in terms of... Usually, they're moody Final Fantasy games. And this was just... Even though, I mean, it was an epic story...
Did you play 9?
I didn't like it because it was super classic Final Fantasy. Okay. But... no, I mean, 8 had my favorite ending.
So I guess, they probably are driven by story. But graphically, they definitely push the ending.
But they've always done that.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Final Fantasy VII when it came out. I mean, if you look at it now, it's very dated, but I mean,
but it was still
holy
amazing.
Shit.
I remember seeing... I didn't even play Final Fantasies then. I remember seeing those commercials on TV and seeing those cutscenes, and it was like, is that a game?
Yeah.
And all my friends got it for their PlayStations where I was still a Nintendo fanboy, so I had a N64.
64.
But they got it, and I looked. I was like, "Oh wow, those graphics are so different than what I'm used to seeing on my N64." So,
well, that's a great segue. Unless somebody else has more Final Fantasy stuff to talk about.
That's pretty much it right now.
Nintendo news with Julius.
There's actually not that much Nintendo news, but I knew you guys would say something if I didn't have any.
Of course.
Yay!
Whatever.
I like your Nintendo news, Jules.
I'm just messing with them.
Of course, it's Pokemon. So most recently, Nintendo news is Pokken Tournament. Yep. Pokken Tournament came out. Pokken Tournament, I've actually played it. It is definitely different. I was thinking, this will be a little easy 3D fighter, kind of like Tekken, press buttons. You can do that. But there is a little bit of an advanced element to that game as well. There's range fighting and close quarters fighting.
Let's have him play Amos.
I mean, like, it looks like Super Smash Brothers. Is that a wrong comparison?
I would say, yeah.
Okay.
Is it more like Tekken?
It's more like Tekken, because it's made by Bandai Namco, who makes Tekken.
Sure.
Okay.
So
it's called Pokken for a reason, right?
Yeah, Pokken Tournament. Yeah, it's just like Tekken Tournament. You have your support characters. You call them in. You have other support Pokemon. You have your core 11 Pokemon. Ranged, Mystic, Strong.
Okay.
So it's definitely plays like a Tekken game. But they put an element of different ranges. So if you're up close, it's more close quarters combat. If you get knocked back into the
Did you buy
background. I pre-ordered it a while ago when it came in. So yeah. So I personally like the game, but it is definitely different. You do have to go through the tutorial. I didn't expect to go through the tutorial, and then I picked it up and played it, and I was like, whoa, man, this is a little harder than I thought.
I think it's because you're so used to finding games that so you can jump into them because you know the characters, like Dead or Alive or Street Fighter or something like that.
We know he isn't good at Naruto, at least I do.
Well,
I whooped his ass all night long. All night long. All night.
So I will give you credit where credit is due. You did beat me more times than I beat you. But I got a feeling that you understand something about the game more so than I do. So once I figure out how to play it, really, it's not going to be quite the same. But we're talking about Nintendo news anyway, not Naruto. So the game did come with a limited edition Mewtwo, Dark Mewtwo amiibo card. So that's kind of fun too for those people who are collecting the amiibo cards and amiibos, or the Pokemon amiibo that are eventually going to come out. And we'll see how that card interacts with the new Pokemon games that are coming out later this year, holiday 2016. Also, we have upcoming up in June, we have more amiibos. Surprise,
You think?
surprise. But now I honestly think that Nintendo is actually running out of ideas for amiibos. Because they do have a new game coming out in June as well. It's a new Kirby game. And if you played the last Kirby game on 3DS, it was actually a lot of fun. I don't normally beat games. And actually a friend let me borrow the Silver Star Story, I think is what it was called. The 3DS Kirby game, and actually beat it. Played every stage, beat every stage through the different multiple endings. I really enjoyed that game. So this one, the new... Kirby game is Planet Roboto,
something like
Roboto.
So it's Kirby
Robobot?
Robobot.
Robobot.
That's what I'm going with.
We'll go with Robobot. So Kirby Planet Robobot, and with Kirby Planet Robobot, guess what you're getting with? Amiibos, yes.
Amiibos,
Plural. So you've got a King DDD, you have a Wall DD, you have a Meta Knight.
Wait, you get all of these?
No, these will interact with the game. They'll interact with the game. And a new Kirby amiibo.
That was cute, Zach. You think they gave you multiple amiibos?
But here's the thing: he would buy a collection if it came with the game and all the amiibos.
That would be a lot easier way to get them.
Sure.
But unfortunately, 3 of those amiibo. Well, Kirby is a new variant. He's actually on his star this time. But the Meta Knight and the King DDD have actually already been released. These are just new versions or variants of those with a blue base.
Wait. The character has a different pose, though, too, right?
One of them looks like he has a different pose. The King DDD. The Meta Knight looks just like the one originally.
Japanese, or probably China, they're just like, paint the base.
So, that
it's like
was...
all their error. They had, some that were supposed to be red or something. They came out blue, and they're like, new amiibo!
Exactly. They'll buy them.
Yep.
And then you also have a new Animal Crossing amiibo, which is Isabelle in her summer outfit. Yes, I just said that. Isabelle in her summer outfit. Same pose. Now she has a skirt. In the other one, she had a long...
it feels like a fucking Sailor Moon Bandai figure.
She didn't have anything to do with Kirby.
What? Okay.
So the amiibos... So he obviously doesn't know what an amiibo is.
No, I don't. Please, enlighten me.
Amiibos are little interactive figures that work with different games that Nintendo releases.
Okay.
Kirby is the one that's the big one for June, is the Kirby game, and then the amiibos that go along with that. But they also are releasing Isabelle, who is an Animal Crossing character, in June as well.
They're little action figures that...
Yeah.
They interact with the game. There's one right there.
Yeah, but you got to put them on a mount.
Yeah.
And then it uploads them into the game.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're talking
Skylanders.
Skylanders, and then also Lego does that stuff. Now Lego Dimensions.
So
there you go.
The major way it's different than those is the EFC reader, or is it NFC? NFC reader is built into the gamepad for the Wii U or into the 3DS for a 3DS.
And crack's probably cheaper.
Yeah, it probably is.
Get the dime bag of amiibos on the corner. Yo, son, get those amiibos.
That's after the amiibo fad wears off eventually, and you can be on the whole set for $30.
But whatever.
Pure Colombian amiibo.
Let's hope it doesn't happen that way.
But yeah, so that's your Nintendo news.
Anything else? No DX news or NX?
DX. NX. Not to my knowledge, they're still keeping that under wraps. Although I haven't really listened to anything recently about the NX. Again, I'm trying to really stay away from trailers, spoilers, and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. So I kind of blind myself, or as some say, stick your head in the mud.
That was me.
And stay away from that, because I like the surprise element of these things. So much is being released now to when it finally comes out, we're not surprised anymore. The movies, music,
hard to surprise anybody anymore. But on that note, also, I don't know. It takes a lot to surprise me anymore.
That's because you read everything.
Because I get bored.
I was just thinking I stabbed you.
I don't read spoilers and stuff like that. But I mean, it's hard.
No, I don't think you read spoilers.
It's hard to and this is specifically talking about. And you know what? We're going to save that for the Batman v Superman
which
thing.
is the next topic.
Is the next topic.
DC,
well, here we go.
DC.
In our thread, we have a text thread and stuff like that. I mean, I inadvertently started talking, not really spoiler related. It was just stuff that was kind of commonly known. Jules literally avoids everything. So I mean, I was literally like, dude, that's not a spoiler. That was released.
Well, I saw the movie. So
articles and shit.
But
articles and shit from like months ago. I mean, there was no spoiler about it. Plus, it wasn't plot driven. But besides the point,
let me explain my rationale behind that.
Okay.
Because it started with Avengers 2. Avengers 2 was amazing. It was a great movie, but a lot of the awesome scenes were in all of the 15,000 trailers that we saw. And so I sat down and I watched that, and I was kind of like, you know what? Wow. I saw a lot of these scenes already. Now I see them in context, but I've already seen them. There's no surprise element there. So
that's in most trailers nowadays.
Exactly. Right? That's in most trailers now. The awesome scenes are in the trailers, right? So I kind of did a test, and I said, you know what? I'm going to avoid every trailer for Star Wars. Arguably the biggest movie ever right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And particularly in our generations. So I said, I'm going to avoid. I saw the one trailer, the very first teaser trailer, and I didn't see any others. I avoided every stream, and it was effort. It took a lot of work. But then when I sat down and watched the movie, it was so much more enjoyable for me. Now, I'm more of easily to please than others, but when it comes to movies, but it was so much more enjoyable for me. I didn't see any of the fight scenes or the flight scenes or any of that. So I enjoyed it. Everything was a surprise to me. Case in point, even more so, close in reference, Deadpool. I didn't see any trailers for Deadpool. I saw the very first teaser when Mario Lopez interviewed him, and I said, okay, I'm sold. I'll watch that movie. Yeah. Never watched anything else. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie, and I didn't know any of the jokes beforehand. I didn't know any of the fight scenes. I didn't know any of it. It was a complete and utter surprise, and a 100% from start to finish enjoyable movie for me.
So it's a matter of delayed gratification.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's definitely delayed gratification, but Deadpool did something that the other movies that you're talking about really didn't do. Yeah, Star Wars to a lesser degree. Deadpool still had enough content that they didn't throw in the trailer to make it an enjoyable watch.
I would probably agree with that, maybe.
Whereas I'll even say Superman or Batman v Superman, they show you an awful lot. Like more
Based
than
on what you guys are saying,
more than you are like really like you'd be surprised. Like there was nothing really surprising about that film other than pacing, plot, and it felt like they tried to jam too much shit into one movie.
I'll agree with that.
So like it was literally like if the movie was a sausage casing, like they fucked up because they were trying to jam so much shit into that sausage casing it couldn't hold it. So it was a mess.
I love that. Like you were like, the movie was good except for the pacing, the script, the filming, the actors.
Here's how
the trailer was the greatest part of the entire movie.
No spoilers, and this is how I explained it. What they did good, they did great. What they did bad, it was a mess. So that's about it, and that's all you really need to know going into it. You will have a good time. I literally surprised myself that I had a good time actually leaving it, but it left me with a lot of, what the fuck did they do that? You know?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I have not seen it, but
me neither.
But I feel like I've already seen it because of all of my friends who've seen it and everything like that, and it's overall a disappointing movie. I mean, very similar to the trailer of the new Ghostbusters movie.
Oh,
I mean, like, if you look at the trailer on YouTube and like it's got like 14,000 downvotes or something like that, even more than that. But like,
yeah, they're not too hyped on it.
Yeah. No, like nobody's hyped on it, and the same thing with this movie. It's just like nobody's too really hyped about it. A buddy of mine did see it last week during a matinee, and he was not impressed.
I personally liked it, but my bar was set kind of low because I'm not really a big DC fan. I am a Marvel fan, but not DC.
Yeah, and this is DC, one of DC's first movies, right? I mean, and this is WB, DC, and this is WB's attempt to try and like catch up with what Marvel is doing.
And you know, that's a really good point because it feels like they were
doing it.
Yeah.
Like Warner Brothers and DC were like, we got to catch up to fucking Marvel.
Yeah, they definitely.
So let's cram all this shit to catch up to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and let's throw everything we possibly can in this one movie. And I'm blaming Zack Snyder, even though it's not technically all his fault.
I blame Obama.
But, like, focus. The film never had focus. Like, it was always just like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that.
It had ADD.
It was all over the fucking place.
It definitely had ADD.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing if you're making a movie like Memento.
Yeah.
But in a superhero film, like, it should have been 3 movies. And they could have easily done 3 movies.
But let's put it in perspective. They are playing catch up. Look how, just put it, 20 movies? How many movies does Marvel have right now?
Yeah, but you don't have to do that.
And they've got, I know there's 8 at least in the first cinematic.
Why catch up when it comes down to this? What did everybody go into that movie thinking? I'm going to go see Batman v Superman. There were 3 different, if not 4 different plots in there that didn't need to be there, and it still would have sold, and probably would have done better because of word of mouth. It would have been a better film.
I'm not arguing.
You're making your money. You just keep pumping these out in a slow burn. Not like, that's what Marvel did. Like, they had stinkers in there. Marvel definitely had some stinkers in their universe, but they either retconned it or they were like, well, it made us money, so fuck it, right? So DC, you don't need to necessarily speed things along. But they're trying to.
They definitely did. And that was definitely, there were multiple movies in that one movie. There could have been broken down into multiple individual movies.
I'm saying 3, but there might have been a 4th one in there.
There was at least 3 in there. There was at least 3 in there. I will completely agree with that. But I understand from what they're trying to do. They are definitely trying to play catch up. We got to get our universe out there so we can start to have those tendrils go off and those tributaries to those other franchises.
Tributaries. Yeah. Good word usage. But I will say this. We don't need to fucking know the origin stories of these 2 characters. Yeah. Seriously. Like, I don't need to see Superman.
It does the origin stories
of only one.
Only one of them. And I'm not going to tell you who. But I'm going to tell you right now. Are you fucking serious?
You know, I will agree with a lot
Superman's the oldest He's the grandfather of all superheroes. Yeah. He was the first superhero. Right. Yeah. Now, whether or not they go back into the origin story of that, but let's go back to Man of Steel. I didn't need to see that. You cut 30 minutes of that movie right off the bat. And... bad. That's funny. But seriously, though, I don't need to see an origin film with these 2 superheroes.
What I thought was interesting is I didn't know that I didn't know that my girlfriend had never seen Man of Steel. I just assumed that she had.
Good.
So when we sat in,
I liked it.
When we sat in BV Batman versus Superman, she's watching it and she's looking, and no spoilers. She had no idea who this particular character is that Superman is saving in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the movie. And she goes, who is that? And then they say the name, and she goes, wait, I thought Lois has dark hair.
Yeah.
And I go, that little minute detail, for someone who doesn't really pay attention to the movies, kind of threw that whole first 20 minutes of the movie off for her. And I was like, wow, that's interesting to see. And then the snowball effect happened, and the other things. For the first 30 minutes or 40 minutes, she was like, what's going on? You know, because there were so many different stories.
Oh, yeah, I can totally see that. Especially the motivation from the antagonist of the film.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
not even really
there's
there.
a big part, and it's not a spoiler, but at the same time, had you not seen Man of Steel, you would be completely fucking lost.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's probably why. Okay,
you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I don't want to try to spoil it.
Yeah, but all in all, I enjoyed the movie. Taking away those elements, yes, I do agree with Zach. Those elements,
but it surprisingly enough, I liked it too.
Yeah, I liked it.
I said, what it does well, it does great. Like, probably the best I've seen. What it does bad is literally pacing, plot, too much shit crammed into one movie. Yeah. Really wasn't a fan of Lex Luthor, but that has nothing to do with Jesse's performance.
Eisenberg, he did a good job.
It literally had to do with direction,
the portrayal of the character,
and somebody saying this is how you need to do it. So
he did a good job acting wise.
But neither here nor there. I think we've talked enough.
I mean, like there's one thing that I want to touch base on is I've only seen the previews. I haven't seen the movie. I'm not going to see the movie. I'll probably watch it online somewhere, whatever, screen grab or whatever. But like, Batman has a gun. He has a gun because I remember specifically in the trailers. He's walking towards the camera with Superman and everything, and he has a gun. When does Batman need a gun ever?
Okay, so that actually brings up a good point, and that comes down to should superheroes in the DC universe specifically should they kill?
Yes.
And my thought is
when necessary.
Alleged. Well, I mean, originally it all started out with the comic book code. You know, you couldn't kill. And, you know, it's been ingrained in that character that he does not kill. He goes way out of his way to not kill anybody, although he's done it a couple of times in the comic book.
Yeah, but only then. It was like a last resort.
Yeah.
You know?
Same thing with Superman. Doesn't kill.
Until Man of Steel.
Yeah. But even so, maybe this is a fucked up rationale, but I'm thinking to myself, you know, he doesn't want to kill, but how many lives could he save? And this is just a rational thought. It has nothing to do with what they decided to do in this movie. But if he off the Joker, you know how many lives would have been saved? Because what do? They just break out and go kill people and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Regardless, I don't know what their thought point was.
There's theories that Batman is, I forgot what type of mental disease it is or something.
Schizophrenic?
No, that he has the need to save people, like have to save people to feel wanted or something. So he continues to let the bad guys
go.
Yeah, so he has someone to.
So he has a purpose.
Yeah, to save and to go against and stuff.
It's a pretty good point.
I don't know.
But yes, he's a little out of character.
He has a gun, yeah.
He's a little out of character. He blows shit
But I'm
up
trying to
left
think.
and right,
Yeah.
too.
I'm trying to think.
And, like we've all seen the sad. Okay, who played Batman? Remind me.
Ben Affleck.
Sad Ben Affleck. Whenever he gets the news,
It's pretty funny.
it's pretty funny. Yeah, the Hello Darkness. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen
No,
it.
it's pretty funny. So, like,
I'll send you the link.
Okay.
it's an interview between whoever played
Henry Cavill.
Superman and Ben Affleck.
And an interviewer is basically saying, hey, your movie's getting negative press. And Henry Cavill kind of tries to defend, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And here's Ben Affleck the whole time.
Just like
And I mean, it's literally on
off
him.
camera.
Most people are looking at Henry
Really
Cavill
quiet.
just having the explanation like, we didn't make this movie for critics, we made it for fans. And Ben Affleck is just like this.
Exactly. Yeah. Just
The whole
stoic,
time.
looking at his feet.
And then it literally goes, he's like, I agree with what he said. Now, they cut that with Simon and Garfunkel's Sound of Silence.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny.
Pretty funny anyways.
I'm thinking he's probably just thinking, well,
Just
how much money did I make for this
Well,
movie?
yeah.
Is what I think.
What he's thinking is, wait till I get a shot at it. And supposedly the execs at Warner Brothers are like, damn, Ben Affleck's got a great Batman script, and he's going to get to direct it. So, and Ben Affleck's a great director. Regardless if you think he's a good actor or not, really doesn't matter. He's a good director.
He's a good actor too.
You know what? I think
he's
a
a
lot
good
of people are going to eat crow if they haven't seen the movie or have already eaten crow based on his performance, because Ben Affleck's Batman is my top one.
Really?
And it has a lot to do with the fact that
Guy.
we're talking the Batman.
Yeah.
He wasn't Bruce Wayne enough in that movie to be able to judge that side of it.
Okay.
Trust me, when you see the movie, you go, he really wasn't Bruce Wayne that long. He's mostly just Batman.
Yeah.
So I can't judge his Bruce Wayne because you really don't know. I mean, when you do, he's just either at a party, just...
Spoilers.
It's in the trailer. You
trailer.
saw him at a party.
That's when they all
and he's
meet.
just doing dialogue. He's riffing. So there's really not a whole lot there to work with. But
Julius is holding back.
I would like to hear Julius' take on it.
He's not the best Batman to me. That's just that simple. Michael Keaton will always be the best Batman to me. I don't care what anybody says. But that is an opinion. But I like Michael Keaton's Batman. I've always liked Michael Keaton's Batman.
Sure.
I'm partial because of the first Batman had a Prince soundtrack.
I was about to say about Prince.
But even Batman Returns, no, Prince didn't have anything to do with that, and that was still one of my favorite Batman movies. Michael Keaton has always been a great Batman. I think he did the Bat and the Bruce very, very well. I will say it's not hard, but then very, very, very close Ben Affleck for a second. Very close.
But that has to do mainly because of practical effects now.
Well, yeah, he can.
I mean, because they made him badass.
He can definitely be a better Batman.
If you like the Batman Arkham games, I mean, if you like the story, if you like the combat, whatever, you will see the closest thing you have seen ever to a Batman Arkham Asylum video game on the screen.
Well, the physicality of the Bat, the technology of being able to put somebody in a suit now and being able to move is so much easier.
I liked Michael Keaton. He'd be my second. Yeah. So we're just a little switch there.
And I'm just partial. I like Michael Keaton. So. But yes, he definitely is not hard to be better than George Clooney and Val Kilmer. Mm-hmm. I
kind of liked Val Kilmer too.
I liked Val Kilmer better than George. Mine go Keaton, Affleck, Kilmer, Clooney, Bale.
What?
I hated Bale's
Is
Batman.
it just because of his voice?
I hated that. I hated that Batman. Those 3 Batman movies don't really exist in my world. I didn't like them. But that's me. I understand artistically they were great. Production-wise they were great. The Dark Knight element of Batman, they were great. But that's just not the Batman I enjoy, so I don't like them. But that's just me. I don't like that Dark Knight Batman. I don't like the Frank Miller Batman.
Well, this next thing will
Which is surprising because like that was Batman v Superman, heavily based on Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. Sorry.
Like the fact that he didn't like the darkness of those kind of goes well with the fact that they're reshooting some of the
Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
to bring more levity,
which I think is true because what they're saying now, and this is why are they doing that? Because of the critics, what they're saying about how dark Batman v Superman
absolutely,
was. But they're also saying that all of the fun scenes were in the trailer. So people have seen all the fun scenes, and the rest of the movie is going to be so dark and gloom. There's no surprises for them.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that like that can't work because the Suicide Squad has such a diverse squad that there's definitely room for funny. Now, why that wasn't in the original script, I have no idea because like that is a ripe story. Like you take that group.
I guess they got to take the new Suicide Squad though. They can't take the 70s, 80s Suicide Squad, right?
No, they got to do the new.
I don't think
they got to do the
probably
new.
Most people don't even know about the old Suicide Squad. They probably think it's New 52 crap, but whatever. So
it's kind of what's out there right now.
Well, that's the bet. And honestly, for movie translation and from comic to movie, the New 52 universe is much better. Now we can actually see why the New 52 happened almost 4 years ago is because they were transitioning and getting ready. Brilliant marketing for all this movie universe that they're coming.
Well, even if they had the little funny, right? The little funny that they showed in the trailer, still way funnier than Batman v Superman. There's no humor in there.
So, like, I was talking to some of my friends and coworkers, and they were like, "Hey, do you think we should take our kids?" And I was like, "Well, how old is your kid?" They're like 9 and 10 or 11. Or no. They're not. They're going to sit there and go, "What is this movie?" They're going to get happy when they see Batman and Superman on screen, but the story is complex. It's very dark. Even the filming of that movie is dark.
But do you think that it missed something by not being more lighthearted?
It needed to be dark, but I'll tell you this much. And here's a true story.
It's a movie about villains. I mean, so.
You're talking about Suicide Squad?
I'm talking about Suicide Squad.
I thought we were talking about Batman v Superman.
I think you were.
Yeah, I was like, because like Batman, because everybody's complaining that Batman and Superman versus Superman was really dark, and I'm like, I don't see why that's a problem necessarily. Kind of like with Suicide Squad, since it just seems like it doesn't have to be happy-go-lucky necessarily.
Sure,
but I mean, they like with some of the people who are in it, I can understand them having. Like wanting scenes like that, but I don't want them to be like. I'm hoping that they're not doing it just because critics were like, "Oh, this Batman versus Superman was just so dark. I couldn't laugh at it."
I can tell you the one joke in Batman v Superman, which is a complete. Alfred? I'm telling you, this is a complete ad lib, and it doesn't really spoil anything. But Ben Affleck, at some point as Batman, says shit.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
And that was literally the. Like it,
that's hilarious,
and that is it. Because I mean, supposedly he had to tell Snyder he wanted that added in, and it worked for the scene. But I mean, it's so brief. That's about the only funny part in there.
I don't remember that part.
So I mean, are you worried the fact that they're reshooting a lot of the scenes of Suicide Squad, or are you just like?
I think they took their balls and were like, "Here you go, you can have them back."
You know what? I think I'm not worried about it because if you look at some of the cast of Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn's character is complete comedy. She's demented comedy, so she needs to have some elements. She's going to be like a Deadpool without the really good one-liner.
Exactly, that's a good point.
That's what she's going to be like. So she needs comedy. So if we've already seen it when she breaks down in the trailer, because I have seen, my rule is I see one trailer. Sometimes I like to pick one, and I get lucky and it doesn't show much. I have seen the Suicide Squad trailer, the
longer one,
the one with
Queen
song, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah,
I've seen that one.
Which I will say this: if you want to talk about how to make a fucking trailer,
that
amazing. Is how you do that.
Yeah, that was probably one of the best trailers I've seen in a very long time.
I agree.
But that being said, Harley Quinn gets a lot of screen time in that trailer, so I'm thinking that all the fun scenes with Harley Quinn we just saw, right?
And you're probably...
And that again is probably going to be unfortunate. So I don't know.
But, I mean, but then again, that's why they're reshooting it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, like, I would rather give the studio more respect for that, honestly, because they're trying to correct their mistakes of what they've seen.
But we don't know the cut.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. So
True.
So it could be funny and perfect just the way it is, but instead of the studio, who's already made a shit ton of money with Batman v Superman, is going, fuck, we need to kind of bring some levity to this story, which is going to be dark anyways. The Suicide Squad film isn't supposed to necessarily be funny. It's just a bunch of different personalities in one movie. So if it needed some funny, hell yeah.
I'm
but
curious.
If it didn't, I mean, you're just doing it because they're like, well, this is just not coming out right. But anyways. And I love Harley Quinn. She's one of my favorite characters. Because she's just...
Mr. J. Mr. J.
And do you mind that Margot... what's her name? Margot Robbie?
I don't know. The girl from Focus is what I call her.
Yeah, but she doesn't really have that high-pitched... Dr. J?
That might bug me because that's such...
It's iconic.
Such... that's when you think Harley Quinn, that instantly where you
Especially
go to,
coming
right?
from the animated series that we grew up on. That's where she came about.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah, in the Batman series.
She does feel like she can really do the kind of crazy.
She can do crazy.
To be quite honest, if she wasn't so old, this is who I kind of always envisioned if this particular character ever got a movie. Jamie Presley from
I could totally see that.
Joe Dirt. I think she would have
good
been
casting.
I think she would have been perfect for it, but now she's too old. Obviously, but I think she would have been perfect for it. I always kind of just envisioned if that was ever to get a movie.
The same woman that was in My Name is Earl?
Yes.
Yeah,
same
got
one.
it. Yeah, okay.
Jamie Presley, yeah. My Name is Earl, Joe Dirt, yep. That's her. That's why I kind of always thought, and to be quite honest, this Margot chick, if that's her name, she kind of looks like Jamie Presley.
A little bit, a little bit.
So,
and do you? I don't know if it would have worked because, like in the Suicide Squad, like at least the animated movie, she's not in the classic Joker.
Yeah, correct.
I'm totally optimistic for her.
I think she'll do good. I think that, and a lot of people were kind of up in arms about Will Smith's character, but I think
not being white.
No, just him playing that kind of a character.
Oh,
he never really plays a bad guy. Will Smith.
But he's technically he's going to be.
He's actually the good bad guy.
He's going to be the hero.
What's
he's
his name?
playing
Don't look at me like that.
No, I don't remember. I was trying to think. I was like, I couldn't remember.
Deadshot, right? Or
something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember who he's playing.
I can't think of his name. Fuck. Anyways, to make a long story short, I think he's perfect for the role.
I think they did a great job.
I think Jai Courtney is going to be great, and whoever they got playing the alligator
That's
dude.
the Killer Croc.
It's not Killer Croc though. It's a shark.
Oh, you're right.
Shark. God, who?
There's not one. I can't.
It's not Killer Croc, but he looks a lot like Killer Croc.
Yeah, you're right.
And Killer Croc's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Or what their name of the character? Or what for?
Margot Robbie. I was right. I don't know why.
Right.
I mean, it's late. I've been yawning. I apologize for yawning. But yeah, no, I think it's going to be good. Jared Leto.
Yeah, he's going to be an amazing Joker.
I mean, I love Jared Leto.
I feel bad
as an
for
actor.
him. I really feel bad for him because everybody's going to compare his Joker to
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger's Joker, or even maybe since he's going with that crazy sadistic. Well, not crazy sadistic because that was
Nicholson?
definitely Heath. Yeah, they're going to compare him to either Heath Ledger or Nicholson. So I'm hoping that he's kind of an amalgamation of both.
But think about it. Jack Nicholson, right?
Yeah,
Heath Ledger. Him. That's some fucking tall boots to fill.
Yeah, they really are. And the party man from.
And he looks good. He looks like a younger, svelte, not so fucking like. They didn't fuck with his face so much, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't prosthetics. It looks like a dude who.
He looks like the Suicide Squad of the Joker.
Yeah. And I agree. Mark Hamill, greatest.
Voice of the Joker.
It doesn't even matter. I think, honestly, like, his portrayal of the Joker is so much better than most of them.
And, if you really want to put Batman in perspective, and I just went blank on his name, take away my nerd card. Who did the voice of Batman in the cartoon? Kevin Conroy?
Kevin Conroy.
Conroy?
Something
Something like
Kevin?
that. So if you really want to put in perspective, he should actually, in most people's account, he would be the Batman, and then you have Michael Keaton, and then...
That's probably true.
Yeah. If you really want to put
he's got such a... I mean, he's got... I mean,
He's
it's obviously... It's almost honestly the Batman voice. You
he's
don't
perfect.
really...
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't want to nerd out too much, but it's funny, for somebody who doesn't like DC as much. I know you're a big Marvel fan.
love comics. I'm more a DC. Actually, really, I'm not even really. Just my true passion in comics will never get movies because Image doesn't their properties don't go into movies. So they've done two movies.
Yeah.
They've done 2 movies and neither one of them did that great.
What were the 2?
Spawn, and then they did a made-for-television Y the Last Man.
Wasn't Turtles an Image comic?
Originally?
Yeah.
No. Ninja Turtles? Teenage Mutant Ninja? No.
Who's that?
Originally, Ninja Turtles was...
Mirage.
Was it Mirage?
Yeah, it was Mirage. My bad.
Yeah.
So you had to think about that for a second.
But no, so that's really where my comic book love lies. But
well, it's because you're talking about the comics that have the balls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, this is why Batman and Superman don't kill. It's because that comic book code was around for so long,
And everybody has it.
It restricted you from doing anything.
So DC has their Vertigo, which is their ballsy part.
Yeah.
And Marvel has their Max Comics, which is their ballsy part. And then Image is
and I like Vertigo
balls
stuff.
to the wall all the time. So
Fables is fantastic.
Lucifer.
Jess, if you've never read Fables or...
Hey, look. Oh, yeah, never mind.
If you've never read the Fable series, amazing. I think you would really appreciate that. If you want to get a brief catch-up that has nothing to do with the comics but still get an idea, play The Wolf Among Us. It's on Steam. It is awesome if you haven't already. So if you have played The Wolf Among Us, Fables is the comic book that kind of takes place after. So It's fantastic.
Very, very good.
Fantastic.
So now we're going to talk about the PlayStation VR and the PlayStation 4.5.
Is your voice
Let's do the
going
VR.
out?
God.
Nah, I probably need to clear it.
I'm going to let you guys talk for a second because it's been a while. I got a restroom.
So PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, the PlayStation VR with like all the companies, a lot of companies are coming out with VR headsets now, which we all know. Like Oculus Rift is the main one who kind of started.
That's you.
Started it most.
PC world, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then the HTC Vive, which is also going to be a PC one, and their pricing was pretty high. I think
$699 to $799.
Yeah, I think the Vive was
Ridiculous.
$800, and I think the Oculus was $600.
I think it is
Plus,
it $599.
Yeah. Okay. Plus, you have to also have a PC rig that can play it, so that's probably going to be around $1,000 at least for one. Then PlayStation used to be called Morpheus, but now it's the PlayStation VR. It hit the scene with just their core package by itself with just the VR headset and what you need to start. That one's $399, and then they also had one that was the bundle, which came with 2 PlayStation Move controllers, the PlayStation camera, and a game in the VR headset, and that was $499, so a difference of $100.
And the headphones.
And a set of headphones.
The Sony Gold headphones.
And so so even with the bundle with everything you need, controller and all that stuff, it's still cheaper than the cheapest competitors' VR
Wait,
headset.
it comes with gold headset?
Mm-hmm.
The bundle
like
one does.
The headset that I have right there.
I believe so.
The blue one.
God, that seems sort of big, though.
So is a screen hanging off your face.
Well, no, what I mean is like ergonomically, I've never seen them wearing the gold headphones though.
Yeah.
I thought they were like little earbud thing.
No, they're definitely not earbuds.
I don't know. I think they said it's like the ones that you had, and with that, like I'm a little excited. I'm excited for it, and then I have the Corefx. The haptic feedback vest, because I think that with the VR is going to be really cool, and I want to try it out.
You're basically living in Ready Player One.
Sure.
Hopefully one of these
now
days.
I just need to get VR or haptic feedback pants.
We can.
Really good.
I was gonna say, never mind.
I know we too. We pre-ordered.
Yeah, I don't think they're gold. It's
So
too. They would be too big.
Ones. They might be the blue ones over there.
No, those suck. Those are
just posted in our Twitch that the gold headsets don't work with the Corefx vest.
Oh.
Bummer.
Oh.
Which I don't have. I have some different type anyway, but I'm not afraid because I'll figure out any way to rig it up if I have any issues with it. Because I'm thinking about even like my Google Cardboard, rigging it to where I can have my vest and use that with my Google Cardboard headset. But like, so I know us two, we pre-ordered it. He got the bundle that had everything in it. I got the one that was just the headset because I still have my PlayStation Move from the PS3, and then also a PlayStation camera. And you don't actually have to use the Move controllers. It works without.
Some games.
Yeah, most games work without it, but there are some that require it. But for me, saving the extra $100 and not getting the things that I don't need works. But I think
I didn't have any of that stuff. I had a PS3 at launch. It collected dust except for a few games, so I never bought Move controllers. I'll get the game.
Move was such a good.
I'll get the VR, the headset, the game. What else am I coming with? I don't need. I'll have an extra PlayStation Eye.
You can always sell it or something.
Yeah, and there'll be an influx of people that want to buy that after once it comes out and the buzz is good about it.
Worst case scenario, I might just wait because you have to pre-order it now essentially, or you're not going to get one. But I might even see how much these are going for, and if they're going for a pretty penny, I might be like, have fun with the VR for a while. I'll just cash out.
I'm curious. I think it's going to be pretty neat. I'm curious to try yours guys when you guys get it. Hopefully, I'll get to try one at SDCC this year, but it'll definitely be neat. I think the $4.99 price point is not too bad per se. I guess if you're looking at that for everything of what you're getting and the functionality, if it's going to be as fun as they say. I'm curious. I
like how you say that now though, because this could be like Virtual Boy in like a year. It'll be like $30, and they're like, "Here you go. You want a free VR headset?" I mean, it could very well be that.
But now go try to buy a Virtual Boy on eBay right now.
That's true.
Go buy one. Because I can tell you right now, halfway, not even
see you later
connection.
Good night, Jess.
Bye night. You're paying $3.99 for one, and that's the Japanese version. So
true, very true.
But
I think like I was talking to Seth from the Corefx company, and they're testing, like they have the Oculus, the Vive, and I believe the VR, PlayStation VR. And then he also has the Samsung VR headset that's almost like the Google Cardboard that comes with the Galaxy S7. And I asked him which one he thought was the best VR experience, and he said the Samsung VR headset, like just the free one that came with this phone. I think he means mainly because of the fact that with the screen size and how close it is to your face and stuff like that, the resolution is great with it. And he also said it was the one that gave him the least amount of headaches and stuff with it. He didn't really have headaches. But I still think one of the other like ones that actually had the full controllers and stuff like that are going to be more immersive. And I'm still like the Google Cardboard and stuff like that is cool, but I am ready to try out like an actual full-fledged headset, and the fact that it's for PS4 makes me even more excited because I don't have to learn how to play on the PC. I don't have to keep upgrading my PC. I can just plug it into my PS4. I don't know if I'm going to have to upgrade eventually to the PS4.5, which is our next point. The PlayStation announced. Well, they haven't officially announced it, but
there are definitely
almost everything is almost confirming it.
Well,
that there's a PlayStation 4.5 that's coming out.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm sure Sir Yum Yums over here is like $4.99. PC gamer. He's like, yeah, we spend that on
graphics
isn't that all the time?
Oh yeah, but the thing about PC gaming is like if you make a big enough investment for once, then you're pretty good for about 4 or 5 years. But I mean. Then again, the Xbox 360 ran for 8 years, like 10 years or something like that. Like that was a good run. I mean, but you're absolutely right. I mean, then those parts wear out. Also, if you're trying to do work like I do, like video editing or graphic design or animation or things like that, then you're going to wear it out even more. But I mean, truthfully, the reason why I got a PC was because I could find any game that I wanted to, whether it was on an emulator or whether it was actually PC. And I mean, if I looked hard enough, then I could find it for free. But so with this headset and everything, this
Nerdgasm Channel does not condone piracy. So that was Sir Yum Yums.
That was just me. That was just me as a special guest.
I know I completely get that. Plus, obviously with the life cycle of a console, I mean, we're about to get royally fucked. Segue with the potential of a PS 4.5.
Yeah.
So
what's that all about? I've never even heard of it. So
really, basically, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Is it kind of like the N64 where like, oh, we've had this, placement for, a little upgrade forever, and all you have to do is just buy this upgrade.
Not quite.
Well,
no.
Like back in the day.
It could either be a new console or like the 32X.
Well, it's not going to be a completely new console. It's going to still have like the same, apparently from the rumors at least, has the same form factor and everything. It's just that has a increase in the processing power in it. I don't know if they're adding another processor or they're just beefing up the one that's in it.
System.
So it's a new system.
Well, I mean, it's not a complete new build. It's not like the PlayStation 5.
What he was saying is like with his example was the N64. N64
No, I'm talking
came
about
out
Zach.
of the box.
Like how what Zach said made it sound like he was talking about like a brand new console.
It is going to be a brand new console, technically.
But I think what Sir Yum Yums was kind of saying is it an addition to your existing PlayStation 4 to make it better.
Like I've heard that that's a possibility too.
You can't put a new. What are you going to plug a new processor into?
Like there was like an external thing that you might be able to plug into.
Oh shit!
It would become the 32X.
Exactly.
Which people would be like, I don't want that fucking Frankenstein monstrosity.
But that one,
on there,
like I doubt they'll end up doing that. But
I hadn't heard
like when it initially came out,
I
people were
heard
trying
it
to
was
figure out if it was gonna
speculation,
be, like,
but I don't think it's going to be the case.
Current people who don't buy a new one be able to pop it in.
Okay,
but
that's not so bad, I guess.
Then it's supposed to have more memory in it as well. The 4.5, and it's supposed to play along with or play better with VR because VR is more intensive, graphic intensive, and processing intensive. So it's going to be able to need a better system for it. Apparently, with the VR headsets, currently it comes with like an external pack thing that does like some extra processing power for it because apparently the actual PlayStation itself, all of its power is going to be going towards controlling the actual VR itself, whereas that external thing that you get with the headset is used for like displaying it, the processing needed to like put it on your display and all that different stuff. But with that, it's going to be probably built into it kind of with the PS 4.5.
Well, let's break it down to like, since I mean it's all speculation at this point. But what do you feel? How do you feel about them doing that?
I don't mind as long as games will still be able to function on the PlayStation as well as, I know they might downgrade slightly compared to the 4.5, but my main thing is like I don't want to be like, oh, this new game's coming out, but you have to have 4.5 in order for it to work with it. Plus, like the strain on developers having to be developed for another
two systems.
That's going to be sucky too.
So you want it to be backwards compatible?
It supposedly will be. That's what they're saying.
Well, I think what you're saying is you don't want it to the customer who has the PlayStation 4 and then the 4.5. You don't want that person to miss out on a game because they don't have it.
Yeah.
And supposedly it won't. But here's the issue also. If you bought a PlayStation 4.5 and you don't have a 4K television, it's kind of a moot fucking subject.
Yeah, that was another thing.
At that point, anyway.
It's supposed to work interface better with a 4K.
It's supposed to output in 4K.
Yeah, everything in 4K, but technically with the games, it's just going to be upscaling.
So I think, I hate to bring it back to Nintendo, but Nintendo has done this, and this is Well, let's think about it. Nintendo has done this, and they did it recently. They have a 2DS, 3DS, and a 3DS XL.
You're absolutely right. I know exactly where you're going.
And now developers are making games that they work on your 2DS, your 3DS. But wait, you really want this new game? It only works on this 3DS XL. So all these other iterations of this particular system that you have, you can buy this Xeno Chronicles 3DS or Xeno Gears or whatever, Xeno Chronicles 3DS. Or some of these other ones that they're making, but it only works on this system.
And they kind of got crucified too.
Yeah.
A little bit for doing that.
Yeah, and I'm saying, so that's why I'm thinking I know Sony doesn't always like to be compared to, everybody doesn't like to be compared to Nintendo, but Nintendo made a bad decision with that. I love my new 3DS XL. I love it, but I am a Nintendo fanboy, so I'm always going to have it. But we in this group are not the normal game buyer. Most of us here have multiple systems. Some of us have Xboxes, PlayStation or Xbox Ones and PlayStation 4s in the home. That is not the typical consumer. The typical consumer does not have multiple systems,
Usually
let alone
take that
multiple iterations
one
of
next
one
gen.
system.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, most have a one next gen system.
One gen.
We're just grown-ups that
play
never
with
grew
toys.
up
Yeah.
I really think that
all the way.
if this is true, Sony really needs to go ahead and like get ahead of this by actually explaining it.
Yes, they have to.
And coming forward, because right now,
I agree.
they have
Everybody
to be
just
completely
speculating and
transparent.
getting pissed off.
yeah, you need to let us know. Do a good job of explaining why this isn't a bad thing or how it's not going to affect us negatively.
Actually, explain why you don't need it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like it's they want to sell it to you. That's fine, but also say, look, we don't want to scare you off. You bought a PlayStation 4. Thank you so much for supporting Sony. This is why you don't need it if you don't have this or that.
It really falls down to transparency. They have to be transparent with the consumer.
Bye, Talia.
People have been. You have to be transparent with something of this magnitude. Because they can't launch this around holiday time. This cannot happen around holiday time.
Yeah.
They got to figure out when their sweet spot is, because they're going to cannibalize themselves in one way, shape, or form if they try to do this around holiday time. Especially with VR coming out in October,
And then all the games
If
coming
this
out around
is-
holiday time.
yeah.
if this is
it's gonna hurt.
real, then it probably would be released in the same window of like the VR. And all
Well, you
that
would think
stuff.
so they could bundle and get that buy-in from the
Yeah.
customer.
So, like-
but it's going to hurt them in the long run.
Yeah, that's why they need to come out and say exactly what it is, if it is true.
Sure.
Because right now the speculation is not doing them favors. Right
No,
now.
not at all.
And so-
Because speculatory is always going to go to the more negative end of that bell
Yep.
curve.
Absolutely.
Except for with like the Wii, the NX, like most of big speculation, or either have people confused, but not mad, but either confused or like this is going to be awesome.
But I think the
And that's
reason for that
Nintendo's
is
ambiguity, right? Nintendo's
Well,
always been well at that.
I think it's the Wii U's failure too that helped in that situation. Apologize for my
It's
kitten.
Katie's.
I think that.
Because like if you're a hardcore Nintendo fan and you, especially if you're clamoring for like their really big, you know, IPs like Zelda, you're like, fuck, I want a Mario for that matter. I just want that next gen experience with Mario and Zelda, or Link, Legend of Zelda. So when they announced like we're gonna catch up to everybody else real quickly, and you have this system that didn't do well, people are more likely to go, okay, I can see why you're doing that. Might be a little too late, but I can see why you're doing that. Versus the system that's winning goes, hey, by the way, hold on a second, let me throw this ball up here and this ball up here. We're gonna sell you a whole nother fucking system that you may not even fucking need.
Balls
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it quite
But-
yet, but we'll see.
4K televisions have gone up in sales, obviously with the cost of technology going down. 4K televisions are selling like gangbusters, and that potentially could be the standard, like 1080p is now,
And
or it could jump up
I
again.
didn't think about that, but that makes sense because Sony has completely revamped their 4K platform for 2016-17, and they've got a lot of really amazing TVs coming out into late 16, early 17.
And we're getting 8K this year too. Samsung has a 101-inch 8K television, 3D without glasses, that will be hitting the market at some point later on this year. So, yeah, who knows? That's one of those things. 8K, 4K. It's kind of the battle right now that Blu-ray and HD DVD kind of went through. One of them is going to become the standard, whether or not one is better than the other. So if 4K wins, that's great. If 8K wins, fuck, that's going to be expensive.
Well,
So what's up next?
I figured like we had
I
the
think
cats in there, making noises like because they're ready to go. We have people dropping off the stream because they're going to bed too. So I figured we would go ahead and close it up.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Anybody had any final things they need to add?
Well, actually, let's just go around the table like we always do. What are you playing? What are you watching?
Right now, I am playing the expansion of Fallout 4. It's okay. It gives me another reason to play Fallout 4 again. The robot, I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one with the robots. It's okay. I'm about halfway through it. The most recent movie that I watched the most recent movie that I watched was Deadpool. The most recent movie that I watched and enjoyed was Anomalisa. You haven't heard of it, but
yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, but it was nominated for the best animated film this year, and
stop motion.
It didn't win, but it was stop motion done by Starburn Studios, run by executive producer of Dan Harmon. He's a really cool director and a writer.
It's a Kaufman story too, right?
What?
Charlie Kaufman?
I don't know.
Pretty sure it was.
Probably, yeah.
Look it up.
But Dan Harmon's a really good writer. He did Community. He's a co-writer for Rick and Morty. So a really cool guy. He also has a podcast called Harmontown. But Anomalisa, really good.
TV? Do you watch TV?
TV wise, I mean, I'm just excited for Game of Thrones, man. I mean, excited for Game of Thrones and Silicon Valley coming out the same day, I'm pretty sure.
Nice. Winter's coming. But it's more summer right now. Anyways, sorry.
So right now I am playing, I guess I'd probably say, Iron Banner and Destiny, obviously, for the next week, and Naruto, Ultimate Ninja 4, the last one of the series. Ties up the manga, ties up the story, phenomenal. Loved it, loved every minute of it. Got my butt kicked online with Willie, but that just because I was being nice. And then right now I'm watching, of course, Empire's back on TV, so that's Empire. And then I have my getting geared up and ready for, Sir Yum Yum's Game of Thrones. But I'm actually really watching an anime series called, and I'm trying to get more time to watch anime, Erased. And it's a little mini series. It's only 12 episodes and it ends. The story's finished based off a novella, I guess, a small mini novel. Great story about a guy who has the ability to rewind time 5 minutes to change something awful happens, and he can change it sometimes if he can figure out what it is. And something happens and he goes back in time 18 years to try to fix it, and da-da-da. Great story. I really like it. I'm not a big fan of the dramas like that. Typically, I like the more whimsical stuff. But that was good.
Erased.
Erased.
I'll check it out.
2016. Yep. Erased.
I am playing nothing right now. I've been so busy these last couple of weeks. Just haven't really felt the urge. As far as TV shows, as some of you know from the last podcast, I literally caught up on Arrow, The Flash, and Supergirl in a month. That's literally starting from scratch. And, that's 4 seasons at 23 episodes a season. That's a lot of watching. I mean, so much so that it creeps into your fucking dreams where you're like, man, where's Oliver Queen at? That kind of thing. But, no, I caught up on them. I just watched the last 2 episodes this week for The Flash and Arrow. Supergirl's, it's not that it's not good. I'm sorry, it's not good yet, and
it's not gonna be good.
Hopefully,
it will be good with the crossover with the Flash.
It was good. That was a good episode.
Happened?
Yeah, and that basically was the best episode so far.
It's Supergirl,
but I like the characters. I just think that it's just not done well. I mean, even the actors that are playing the roles. The long story short, that I've started Gotham, so I'm getting to that, and Gotham is one of those shows where it's a slow burn, but it's pretty good. It's just, I can't marathon it, say The Flash, which is really just, it's not happy-go-lucky all the time, but at least it's very, what's the word? It's just fun, at the very least. But, movies, the last I saw Batman v Superman. And you kind of know how I feel about that.
Okay, me. Sorry. Me, let's see. I am watching mainly anime, of course. That's if I'm not watching stuff like South Park, things like that. I'm usually watching anime, and so right now I'm watching a couple of broadcast dubs. Assassination Classroom season 2, which is actually going to close out the manga's storyline. Because the manga ends in a few more chapters, so this anime is actually going to end too with the manga, and that's really good. So you need to watch if you haven't. Also, Prince of Stride, alternative. It is a anime about parkour, basically like a kind of parkour teams and schools competing and stuff. And surprisingly enough, like the artwork and things like that are really nice and pretty, and you really get into it. But I do like sports animes, so it might just be that. So in there, because there's one about male gymnastics that are going to be coming out, like an anime I saw.
Were they male gymnastics or male cheerleaders?
Oh, sorry, male cheerleaders. And I was like, that is such a weird, different anime subject that I've never seen before, even for female cheerleaders. And so I'm like, yeah, I gotta watch that. It's a sports anime. And then what I'm playing is, like, I just started Far Cry Primal because I rented it from GameFly, and so that's what I'm playing. And I just want to give a shout out on Fooly Cooly is getting a season 2. Toonami is co-producing it, and it's going to have 12 new episodes that are a continuation of the original series, and it's going to be broken down into 2 separate seasons.
I don't even remember the original series.
So, which was just like 6 episodes for the original. So, just wanted to throw that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I'm super
I
excited
own the Blu-ray.
about
I've
that.
never watched it.
It could have been a movie. It was really good. But yeah, that Fooly Cooly is up in my bank. Like, I have to watch it at least once a year just to give it.
Really?
I mean, its respect. Because if you watch it once, you're just like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
But if you watch it 2 or 3 times, it's like, okay, things start to make sense, and then you watch it a little bit more, and then
What the hell's happened?
Yeah, exactly. Then you're like, okay, this makes sense whenever this happens later on. But
I have it on Blu-ray. I've never watched it.
It's good. I mean, Willie will vouch for the music in it. The music is fantastic.
Yeah, the pillows.
The animation the animation is fantastic. But the story is where you're going to be like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
But if I could boil it down to its most concentrated, what it is, it's the weirdest coming of age story for this young man ever. I mean, that's about it.
Yeah, actually, that's a good way to sum it up.
Yeah.
So, just a pro tip, if you go to watch Fooly Cooly, you have to watch all the episodes from start to finish. If you, jump in at episode 3, you're going to be so lost, and it's just going to be so weird that you're not going to be able to recover from it, and you will hate the show.
Yep.
So you need to watch it from the beginning, because that's what I did initially. I just caught a middle episode on Toonami a few years back, or when it was first streaming on there, and I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Years later, I went back and watched it from start to end, and I was like, I really enjoyed this show. So thank you for listening and watching the latest episode of the Nerdgasm Channel Podcast. Please like and subscribe to our podcast so you can get notified when we have new episodes. Also, check us out on our YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook pages. We post things on there. It's a community. We want y'all to join in, talk to us. We love to hear your feedback and help us grow. And
Tell us what to talk about.
yeah. With subjects, we actually do read the comments, and we try to
And we want to
take it all
talk to
in.
you on our Facebook too. Don't feel afraid to. We will literally write probably everybody back. I think that's one of those things that you might get hesitant. If you really like something or don't like something, please speak up. So
I'm surprised Spicy didn't talk about Batman.
has she been here the whole time?
Yeah, she's doing the whole time.
Okay.
All right, well, this is Willie, a.k.a. Unofficial Ninja.
Zach Romeo 313.
Jules, Fade Alexander.
And Jonathan, a.k.a. Sir Yum Yums.
Sir Yum Yums.
It gets a laugh every time. That's why I got to keep it now.
It's perfect.
You know?
It's so perfect.
It's cool.
Thank you for being on the show, by the
Happy
way.
to be here.
Thank you.
All right.
Come back. Do it again.
Absolutely.
Happy to be here.
See y'all later.
Bye, guys.
Later,
Bye.
guys.